guys, I'm back with you guys. I'm gonna do something a little different today for you guys. I have a personal story that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna share it with you guys. I'm one of those type of people that's pretty private, but I'm starting to think that I may need to become a little bit more transparent to the world. Let the world know who I am. So I'm going to give you guys a little story time about me, and I'm going to specify a bit on a very actually traumatic time in my life that definitely put me on the road to want to do better for myself, way better than I've ever done before. And that's why I'm on this mission to build my brand and to build myself and to build my business. Just in case you guys haven't noticed, if you maybe just started following me, I do have my business called the Essence of Dazzle that I just started like summer of last year. Actually, I've been bedazzling. It's a bedazzling business. I've been bedazzling for at least like the last 5 years. But as far as professionally, and since I've officially got my business license and started actually professionally going about things, that's been since last year. But as far as me actually doing bedazzling and putting stones on everything, I've been doing that for a few years now. So basically, the bedazzling business is a business where I put stones, glass crystals. As you guys can see, this robe that I'm wearing right here is one of my creations, as well as this sports bra here that I'm wearing as well. And the nails are my press on line. So I'm, doing things, getting things done, and putting myself out there. So, um, to give you guys a little throwback of how things kind of begin with me. First off, my name, Ruth Delgado Cooper. I have two last names. Um, One of the reasons why I have two last names, no, I am not married, not yet. But I have two last names because I was a foster child my whole life. I never met my biological parents. And my mother and my father's name is the one that I actually carry. So it's Delgado and Cooper. And 9 times out of 10, when I get married, I'm probably just going to add that. I don't know if I'm going to have like a super duper long name or not. I don't know. But that's why I have two last names right now. And using both of them just makes it less complicated. Like when I have to deal with um, taking care of business and stuff like that. So that's that. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, born and raised. Been in Philly my whole life. Hoping and praying to soon move somewhere really awesome where I can really grow and have some new experiences, get a new layout to get used to and things of that sort and everything. So, lost track a little bit. Okay, born and raised from Philly. Been living in Philly my whole life. Would like to move somewhere else at some point, probably even soon. But for now, I'm, working on my business, the Essence of Dazzle, which is a bedazzle business where I pride myself in making sure that my customers and my clients get the best service that I can possibly offer to them. I make sure my products are bomb. As you can see, I wear it myself. So you know your product is bomb when you know that you can wear it yourself and you feel awesome and you feel amazing in it yourself. So okay, if I could feel amazing in what I'm putting out there myself, then other people should be able to feel awesome as well. So that gives you more confidence. I feel like it definitely gives me more confidence. So I have quite a few interesting things about myself that most people don't know. One is, besides me being a foster child my whole life, thank God, thank you to the ancestors, I was blessed enough to have one foster mother my whole entire life, which was amazing. She was an amazing mother. She took very good care of me. She loved me. She cared for me. Nothing was perfect, as in any, mother daughter or any kind of relationship, but she's an awesome mom. And I feel like, due to her, I'm an awesome woman. So, I also went to private school, like majority, like 90% of my schooling was in private school. I went to my mother's school for a majority of my schooling as well, from like ninth grade. No, 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 no. Actually, I'm lying. Not ninth grade. From like fifth grade on up to like 12th grade, I went to my mother's school. Wisdom Christian Academy is where I went. And I graduated from there. And then I went to college also. I went to community college for a couple of years before I had to drop out because I fell off a little bit with my academics. Then I went to beauty school, cosmetology school, Empire Beauty School, and I had to quit for the time being with that as well because I was going through so many complications just with life, with moving around, having complications with income and all of that kind of stuff. So staying consistently in school and finishing out has been quite a struggle because of financial difficulties and not having the stability that I really, really, really would like to have to keep myself set and stable. But I'm working on that now. So that's another thing. Um, I've been through a lot of things in my life, a lot of complications, a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of good stuff. I was raised Christian. My foster mother is a Christian woman and she raised me Christian. So I do still, if I do refer to having any type of religious aspect of thinking or outlook, I would say that I probably say I'm Christian because I don't agree with everything in the Bible all the time because some things are a little confusing to me, quite frankly. But some things do make complete sense. And so that's why I'm like, overall, since I was raised on it and quite a bit of it makes sense and is legible and it is understanding to me, I'll claim that as, my religion. Um, but honestly, I don't look at myself as religious. I would refer to myself as more spiritual than religious because I feel like religion puts us in a mode where we're thinking the way some other person is telling us to. And I think that that's not the right way to go because a lot of times people could tell you to do stuff wrong. They could even tell you to do stuff wrong out of the Bible. So I feel like once people get into the mood of better actually doing things that they want to do, that they know sets better in their soul, that's when people, I believe, will feel better about themselves and what they decide is best for them in their life or whatever. But anyway, continuing on. My ventures have been like a roller coaster. I was working quite a few, different jobs throughout my life. But the jobs that I spent the longest times in and that has had the most long, like lasting effect in my life would have to be first, it was working with my mom at her school. That was my first official job that I actually got paid for and didn't get paid for sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. Then my next major job that really like helped me with learning a lot and I stayed in it for quite some time, about almost 2 years, was when I used to work for Allied Barton as a security guard. That was a pretty interesting job. It got me to meet like quite a few different people with different kind of personalities and characteristics. Some good, some bad, some ugly, some pretty, whatever. It didn't matter, I just got to have that nice work experience with more consistency and got to meet different people, but unfortunately, I got laid off because I landed myself in trouble. So, what I mean by in trouble, I mean in trouble with the law, got into a fight that got out of hand and got in trouble. So, once that happened, I let my job know what happened, and they let me know that they couldn't keep me employed, knowing that I had, the case that I had. So I ended up getting let go. They didn't even want to let me go. They actually told me that too. It's crazy, right? But anyway, neither here nor there. That led me to a crazy time of my life where I didn't have a job and I was having a terribly hard time trying to find a job because now I had a record when I hadn't had a record for like 21, 22 years. I think I was about 21, 22 when I first got my first case. So yeah, and no, I do not have a long record. I only have literally two things on my record. Basically, two fights that got out of hand. I have had a couple of temperamental situations, but I have learned over the last few years to tame my temperament and learn how to be patient even with myself as well as to learn how to teach others people to be patient with me as well. So then I went through such a crazy roller coaster trying to find a job that I was forced into, and I feel like I can honestly say forced into because literally, guys, I lied to you not. I did everything that I could, ripping and running, trying to find a job, trying to ask people for a job before I finally decided to make the decision to become an exotic dancer. So, yes, I used to be an exotic dancer, and actually, from time to time, I might still dance. But anyway, neither here nor there. That's also a big part of my story. Being an exotic dancer really helped me to come out of my shell a lot. Like, it's pros and cons about it. Of course, like I said, I didn't want to do it in the first place, but I had a terrible job trying to find, terrible time trying to find a job after I, ended up with a record. So I had to do whatever I had to do so that I could pay bills, so that I could take care of myself, so that I could eat. So it came down to everybody that I was cool with at the time telling me, like, sis, I know you don't want to do it, but it'll help. So I ended up dancing. That's how I got into it. And I was nervous as heck. Imagine being a girl that was raised in the church. Now, mind you, I didn't spend my whole childhood in the church, but how much time I did spend in the church, you would think. But anyway, like there was a time frame that my mom didn't go to church like all the time, but then there was times that she went like every day almost. So being a girl that was raised in the church and taught all of this about religion and Christ and being holy, imagine how much of a struggle it was to decide to become a dancer. Like that was like, oh wow, I would that was one of those decisions where I was like, I would have never thought that I would have ever, but I did. And I have to be honest. I can say that being a exotic dancer was one of the best first jobs that I ever had. Here's why. The reason why I say that is because one, it helped me to be able to learn how to talk to anybody, like literally anybody. Like I can strike up a conversation, especially when I know I want to talk to that person, with anyone after I learned how to, do that with being an exotic dancer. Now, before I was an exotic dancer, I did have good conversational skills, but it wasn't as good as it is now after I've had that experience of speaking to so many different people from so many different walks of life. I've danced at so many different clubs, white, black, Puerto Ricans, Italians, you know, name it. If I didn't dance there, I probably tried and they just didn't hire me. But yeah, so I can honestly say that it helped me to learn how to hustle. It helped me to learn that I don't have to limit by myself by what I thought that I did or did not know how to do already. I can learn new things that I never would have thought that I would learn. Like, I didn't even know how to do a split before I became a dancer. I didn't know how to work no pole or anything. Like, I didn't know how to do any of that. Now I know how to work the pole. I know how to do a split. I'm flexible. All of that. All of that came from dancing. And honestly, I can honestly say that I probably wouldn't have really gotten into seriously learning all of that if I never was a dancer. So that was definitely another one of the jobs that definitely taught me a lot, and it helped me get out of my shell because I was like very scary. Um, and that brings me to the next job that I had for a consistent amount of time, about a year or two, at different locations. That was being a cleaning person. Um, I would work in places like I worked at a dentist. No, was it a dentist? No, it was a doctor's office, a regular doctor's office, cleaning, and I worked at a pediatrics office cleaning, as well as at Estee Lauder's factory. I worked there cleaning as well. So I did some cleaning for over the period of probably like 2-3 years. Um, and I can honestly say with the cleaning, kind of the same thing as the other jobs. I got to meet so many different people, interesting people, and people that was like pretty nice. Like I met some people that was like pretty cool when I was cleaning. Like especially when I was at the Estee Lauder factory cleaning there. It was a few very nice, cool, respectable people that I worked with and worked for. I learned about how much I can handle and deal with when it comes to working with other people and maintaining my temper, because I have to be honest with you. Like, seriously, when I was doing my cleaning jobs, those were some of the most testing jobs, I have to say, because I had to be so patient and I had to be cool, calm, and collective when everybody who was coming into the bathroom to use the bathrooms when I was still trying to clean and stuff like that would try to, like, you know, uh, overwhelm me. So I went through so many different things, like with the cleaning situation, but I learned a lot, like literally with every job that I had, from helping my mom. Oh, that was the very first job, and I didn't even expound on what I learned from that. Okay, so my very first job, backtrack a little bit, helping my mom with her Christian school that she had, Wisdom Christian Academy. Shout out to everybody that went to Wisdom Christian Academy. When I went there, I was kind of like a junior teacher sometimes. Then I also cleaned at my mom's school too. And I did some like filing and stuff like that, helped her keep her files and stuff. So yeah, I did quite a bit. So I'm gonna fast forward back to where I was, and that will be caught up to like right now time, where at the moment right now I'm not working as far as working a legit job, but I am working for myself. Like I said, I mentioned in the beginning of this video that I do have my own private business, small business. It's called the Essence of Dazzle. I do have a website, the Essence of Dazzle, .com. You guys can go there, check me out, check out all of my products that I have up there. I post consistently, like every 3 to 6 weeks, roughly. But most of my postings I put on my Instagram, which I'll tag my Instagram on this video just in case you guys would like to look me up or something and follow me on Instagram. That would be great. I'd appreciate that. Also, In the meantime, if you guys have gotten this far on the video, thank you so much for watching. Now, if you could click that subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. I'd love that. Also, share if you'd like to. I have no problem. Like I said, I'm trying to share my story with the world to get the world used to me, familiar with me, to know who Ruth Josephine Delgado Cooper is. Yes, Josephine is my middle name. I didn't mention that first. So yeah, now I'm going to touch on something that has really like drastically affected my life, and I'm gonna tell this story and then I'm gonna bow out. But guys, please bear with me because I feel my emotions kind of like already coming up just thinking about what I'm about to tell you guys. So if I get to crying and everything, just please just bear with me because this is an emotional story, okay? So, throughout my life, I've had quite a few different scares, you know, with ex-boyfriends thinking that I might have been pregnant. I'm 32. No, I'm not 32. I'm 31. I forgot how old I was for a second. But anyway, I'm 31 years old. And for 29 years, I thought that I couldn't get pregnant because, well, not for 29 years, but, you know, for the time frame that I was having sex for, because I lost my virginity at 19. So I wasn't having sex for like forever. But anyway, for the time frame that I was having sex for, like I never got pregnant, and it was quite a few times that I could have. So you can only imagine how shocked, surprised, amazed, and all kinds of rushes of emotions I felt when now 2 years ago at 29 I found out that I was pregnant. I'm going to tell you guys about the backstory. So I was pregnant. I had a ectopic pregnancy, for those who do not know what that is, because I didn't know what it was until I actually had one. Ectopic pregnancy basically is when a woman has a pregnancy and her baby develops outside of her uterus. So it's anywhere outside the uterus. It can be embedded inside the uterine wall. It can be in your tubes, which was my case. Mine was in my right tube. My baby was in my tube. So I didn't know. I didn't even know I was pregnant. How I found out, I was working at the time. I was cleaning one of the office buildings that I was cleaning at the time. And actually, I had just came from the nailery. At that time, I was going to the nailery. This was pre-COVID, so I could actually go to the nailery and get my nails done at that time. So then I do my press-ons, and I actually love my press-ons even more than going to the nailery because I can always have my nails done whenever I want them done, at least with my press-ons. But when I go to the nailery, you know, it's too much to be worried about. But anyway, getting back to focus. So I went to the nailery that day, and I was on my way to work. Like I said, at that time, I had my cleaning job. So I was feeling kind of weird on my way to work. Actually, for some time, I had been feeling weird, honestly, because for anyone that's not a woman or a female or that's a little squeamish about female talk, just opt out now. Because things might get a little female talkish. So basically, my period was on for like way longer than it's ever been on before. I think that it was going on 5 to 6 weeks when I officially went to the doctors. But here's the thing. This is the reason why I took so long to go to the doctors. First of all, I'm kind of scared of the doctors on the low, a little bit. Yeah. I don't necessarily trust all doctors that much sometimes because, you know, there's some scams and some craziness with doctors sometimes. So I don't have the most trust for them all the time. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, terrified to go to the doctors. And another reason was because I was just like, well, even though I was bleeding, I wasn't bleeding like heavy, like I was just bleeding like a little, just spotting. So I was thinking like, maybe it's not that deep. Well, so I wasn't feeling very well when I was on my way to work. I was feeling like real weird. My stomach was hurting. I was feeling lightheaded. Like I was just feeling like off. And my friend at the time that I, was having a relationship with, we were talking and I was telling him how I was not feeling very well. And he was like, well, you're going to have to go to the doctors. And I was like, heck no. But then again, I thought about it, while I was talking to him, and I was like, okay, well, listen, if I'm going to do this, that, and the third, and if what I'm doing doesn't help and I don't feel any better, then I will go to the doctors. And he's like, okay. So I'm on my way to work. Still not feeling well, but that's how I am. When I'm working, I'm on a mission. So I get to work, and I still not feeling very well. And I'm just forcing myself to work at this point. Don't feel good at all. So while I was forcing myself to work, getting myself together for my shift, I felt like literally as I stepped in, as I continued to work, I felt like I was getting sicker and sicker. Honest to God, it was a couple of times that I literally balled up on the floor in the doctor's office because that's how bad those cramps at the time, that's what they felt like, was hurting. So once I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, I gotta call somebody, I gotta go to the hospital or something's not right, I called my boss. He was the first, was he the first person? No, actually, no. My friend that I was with, who was my child's father at the time, he was the first person that I talked to. Then after I got off the phone with him, I got on the phone with my best friend, my girlfriend May, and I told her, I said, listen, honestly, I really am feeling like I need to go to the hospital because I feel like something's not right and I really need to know what's wrong. So she let me know she's going to come get me. Thank God this was before she had moved all the way to New York, because right now she lives in New York. So isn't it great how God works things out? This was before she moved. So she came and got me, but I'm not going to fast forward to that yet. I'm going to rewind a little bit. So before she came and got me, my cramps were like horrible. So I called my boss next after I talked to her to ensure that I had a ride to get to the hospital. Because my friend that I was talking to, who was the father of my child at the time, he could not ride me to the hospital because he was in Florida at the time. So he wasn't nowhere around. So I solidified my ride with my girlfriend May, and then I called my boss. Well, actually, I didn't call my boss. I called my supervisor, and I let him know. I said, listen, I was going to try to go ahead and just tough this through and go ahead and continue to work. I said, but honestly, I don't know what is wrong with me, but I really feel terrible. Like, I feel like I'm dying right now. And my stomach is feeling horrible. I can barely stand. Like literally, while I was talking to him, I was balled up on the floor, like literally. So I was crying, like it was horrible. So I don't even know how I was able to walk out to the car because the pain was like, it was indescribable. It was like, I never had nobody stab me, thank God. Thank you, ancestors. But I almost kind of felt like this is probably the pain that I would have felt like if somebody was stabbing me in my stomach area or like in my pelvic area. That's how bad the pain was. So I waited for my girlfriend. I waited in the hallway for her because it's like I had to find out what was wrong. So I waited in the hallway for her. She took me to the hospital. And while we were waiting, when I was telling the nurse and the doctors that I was talking to what my side effects were, what my issues were, they were telling me right off the bat that they believed that it was a ectopic pregnancy. And I was like, I said, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not pregnant. Because, like, okay, so, like I told you guys in the beginning of this video, so many times, like, I really could have. Like, and I was in consistent relationships and everything, and definitely could have already been a mom many a times and wasn't. So I was just like, I'm not pregnant. So I, honest to God, couldn't believe it when they said, okay, well, we'll see. We're going to take this pregnancy test and we're going to check it, and then we'll be able to let you know that that's definitely not what it is then. I said, okay, fine. I went, took the pregnancy test, swore I'm good. Like, ain't nothing there. Man, doctor come in the doctor's office, okay? I'm just sitting there all willy-nilly chilling. Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm cool. So what's up, doc? So the doctor comes in with the pregnancy test. It's still in his hand, and he's like, yeah. So, we definitely, Miss Delgado gave you a pregnancy test, and in my mind, I swore he was going to say that we realized that you're not pregnant. But he said, so we realized you're pregnant. And I was like, wait, what? I did like a double take, because I was dumbfounded, honestly, because I was just like, what? Huh? For real? And he's, yeah, you're definitely pregnant. He said, the test is definitely positive. You're definitely pregnant. I said, what? Wow. I was like stuck for a minute, like for real. So when I found that out, of course, I let my friend know that I was messing with at the time, who in fact was the father. I called him next and told him, like, well, I got a surprise for you. And I let him know that I was pregnant, and that it's a possibility that the pregnancy may not be a successful one because of the pains that I've been having and the issues that I've been having. So when I told him that, he's like, okay, I'm on my way. Now, mind you, this man's all the way in Florida. Which part, I'm not sure, because I didn't ask him all of that, but I do know Florida is a long way away from Northeast, and that's where he had to come. I was in the hospital in the Northeast. So he drove all the way from Florida, and got to the hospital, and by the time he got to the hospital, they had done the ultrasound, and that's what let us know that, in fact, it was an ectopic pregnancy, and I was in fact pregnant in my tubes. And the reason why the pain was so excruciating was because the baby was like really growing drastically, and it was rupturing my tube. Thank God, thank you ancestors, that in time I was able to get myself together and go to the hospital, because ironically, I told my supervisor that I felt like I was dying, and come to find out, I was literally dying, because if I didn't get to the hospital when I did, my tube would have burst and I'd have bled out. So that's one of, believe it or not, very many situations where my life was on the line, and like I almost lost my life, like literally almost lost my life. I had to go through the surgery. They had to do a surgery. They had to take my right tube out because it was no way that they could possibly save the baby, and I wanted them to. I mean, I wanted, if it was possible, I wanted them to, because I mean, who wants to not only be the one that thought that you couldn't even have children, to come to find out that you can, And not only that you can, but that you lost your first child and that you have to have um, an emergency surgery so you can save your own life, and you have to literally sacrifice the life of your child. Still to this day, it's frustrating, and I mean, not really frustrating, it's hurtful. And it makes you think, and it makes you wonder sometimes. Like, it really makes me wonder sometimes. Like, I would have had a 2-year-old right now, or they would have been about to turn 2 probably. So I just think sometimes, like, how would my life have been if my baby would have survived, you know? And I also thought about, what if I would have lost my life? Because I could have lost my life. So I said all this to say this. I learned a very, very, very important lesson about life when I lost life. When I lost my child that I didn't even know existed in the first place, I felt like a part of me woke up. And the reason why I say I feel like a part of me woke up is because a part of me finally started to realize how literally fragile life is. How literally easy from birth it is to lose life. And how painful it is as a mother that never even got the chance to be a mom. How painful it is as a mother that never even got the chance to look into my baby's eyes to see whether my baby was a boy or a girl, to know whether my child would have looked like me or their father. You know, it's so many things that goes through my head every day. Like, I look at my bruises, and it's a constant reminder of what I lost. But it's also a constant reminder of I'm sorry, guys. I told y'all I might get a little emotional, but it really taught me how important it is to be appreciative of everything, of everyone. Because you never know. Like, I didn't even know I was pregnant. I was carrying life and didn't even know that I was carrying life. And it's crazy because I'm like, I was carrying life and death at the same time. I'm sorry, guys, but I had to share this with y'all because this is something that has had such an effect on me. And it made me truly understand how important it was to value life and to be appreciative of good health and to be appreciative of everything that God bless you with. If you have children, appreciate those children. Because there's people like me out here that have lost before they could even know what it felt like to have it all the way. And for you to know what it feels like to have all the way, appreciate everything. If losing my kid didn't teach me nothing else, it taught me how to appreciate everything. And it taught me that love is so blind that you can learn how to love somebody that you will never see, that you could never see. But you can love them just as strong as somebody that you do see. And that was priceless, and that was very valuable. And those were some hurtful experiences, but some very necessary, well-learned lessons. So guys, excuse my emotionalness. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you've had an experience yourself with ectopic pregnancy or losing a child or anything similar to that, I just want to tell you from my heart to yours, being a mom that never even was able to hold my child in my arms, that baby girl, I know how hurtful the experience is. And I know how lonely it is because no one understands. No one gets it. Especially if they haven't been through it themselves. They don't get it. When you try to talk to other people, people don't get it. They don't understand that when Mother's Day comes around, it's so stressful because it's like, dang, man, like I'm a mom too. I got the scars to prove it. I'm a mom too. I just never got to see my baby's eyes. I just never got to hold my child. But from one mother that didn't all the way get the chance to be a mom to another, keep your head up, love. Love yourself. And learn how to make your life better quality. So when God bless you again, and this time successfully with more life, not only will you be able to successfully handle it and raise that child as best as possible, but you can also pass down great knowledge, wisdom, and gems from your experiences to your child and get them to understand and know, mommy been through some stuff. That's how I could tell you a little something. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for checking me out. Much love.